All right, so before we create this tanker bug, I thought I'd do some work on survivors by at least creating a sketch for a mid-res model for Ralrazin. So I've sketched out something here, and I'm just going to move the redo so you can see the progression. Oops. Okay, so for now, I'm hoping for a lucky mistake. Mistake that maybe there's a shape in there that might be interesting. Sometimes I do this trick, you know, I do some sketch, then leave for a while, take a bath or cook some meal to get my focus out of my prejudice or my preconceived ideas and maybe find some cool stuff while, you know, watching stuff like this. So, right now, we are going to try and pick out some information here that might be useful for us when creating objects in 3D. So, I like to sketch first. Your sketch doesn't have to be great, since the purpose is to allow your mind to to help my mind to picture this object, you know, by sketching or by trying to depict the object through sketching. My mind will grow familiar to the object that will eventually be created in 3D. So I think that's a useful process that you might want to adapt, you know. So the purpose of sketching is not to be a great sketcher, but to help your mind, translate, or to help you. It's like a test. So you are like testing your own mind if it has the idea, because sometimes there's a part of our mind that thinks it knows, it feels that it knows the shape. But when you actually challenge it to draw the shape, it misses a few details. So there's something I noticed, you know, throughout the years trying to create art is that there are two parts, at least to our minds. There's this part that, based on some kind of, not based on, but it expresses itself through this kind of feeling that you know something. But when you actually draw it, you realize that there are things missing in your, maybe it's some detail out there or some shape. So there's actually two different things going on in your mind. It's like watching a cartoon, right? So you see this, or an anime, you see these characters You think you know them, right? Then you realize that they are just moving lines and shapes, right? So it's something like that. It's hard to describe, but this exercise actually helps me uh, have some solidity, some concreteness to the idea. So when I go to 3D, I don't have to struggle, trying to get an idea or trying to, since 3D requires more actions than sketching. So, and it frees you up a little bit, you know, when sketching. You create mistakes that eventually, example, this type of sketching, I really like it because there are details here that might come in handy, you know, because when in 3D, you have to be precise, right? You can't have like small mistakes here, like for example, this could be, we could take this as a guard, a chest guard. It could take this shape, but in 3D, you can't do that. So maybe you guys can use this technique. So I'm just sharing it right now. So after creating this sketch, I went out uh, to the bathroom and I thought about this. This came to my mind, the shoulder guard. Instead of it being solid, like this, I thought this should be, this would look nice, separate. In my mind, I feel that it'd be nice to be separate objects. One part would be connected to her um, shoulder or her deltoids, and then the other would be attached somewhere here, right? So it would be. Now I like to draw ideas in orthographic, like the actual sides, not in perspective view or profile view, but in actual side view or front view. Okay, so for this one, I think a side view would be great. So her shoulder, right? We have her shoulder here. To be her clavicle. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect. You just need that shape there. So I was thinking maybe this cap here be like something attached to her arm here. Since this character is not an official uh, Templar warrior, but a Kali that kinda made her own armor from scraps or from a dragoon. Maybe we could have it a little loose here, not really tight to our arm. Okay, that would be a shape there. Then this part could be attached here, right? Could be attached here. It would float up like here. I forgot. I forget if the Celendis artwork had this kind of thing. You know, this could be just part of our armor here. This could be like a web, some futuristic web attached there. Okay, so now we have three parts to this one part. This is going to take 15 minutes to do in 3D, and this one would be 15 and 15 with minor details attached to it. Unless we have prefabs we can use, but I think I don't have pre-made objects. We're gonna have to do this from scratch. Okay, so now we have this armor shape, but still it's missing a lot of detail, right? We can create this object, something like this, inside the 3D software later. Okay, then we won't have details for things like this, things here. Okay, so either we work on this more, make it a little more detailed, or you could do it later inside ZBrush. But you know, inside ZBrush you will be a little bit limited there, since you know, unless you can work really fast, it takes time to create these shapes and align them together in ZBrush. And it's 3D, so checking it out would be hard, you know. You have to rotate things, and then you have to balance things uh, in 3D, which will be a little hard. So for me, from my experience, having a 2D blueprint like this is really useful, and it cuts down the work, and it speeds up your work inside 3D, inside ZBrush specifically, or maybe 3ds Max if you prefer that. You know, having these shapes, I know them already. I could just, you know, cut a sphere, then add another sphere, and then just cut them, you know, or use Z modeler. It would be easier and faster. If I didn't have this blueprint, of course, you know, you can adjust this inside ZBrush later. But if I didn't have this, it would be really hard to, at least for me, to create stuff in 3D. Because you need a lot of actions in 3D to accomplish stuffs like this. So for me, being able to, especially just drawing without, you know, just sketching without thinking too much about it, you know, just playing around, that's so much more uh, it allows me to have more mistakes that I can take and use as, you know, they could be detail or shape, It's harder to do this, at least for me, when recording, since in art you need to be engrossed in the material. You have to be not free from distraction, but actually, not, at least for me, not thinking about what how to say things, especially in English, because I'm not used to speaking in English. My brain is kind of, torn between two things, translating words in my brain and also trying to think of shapes. So, okay, we have this. We have this shape now. So, at least for me now, I'm a little bit confident. I have these things here. That would be the shape. When I go to third, when we proceed to ZBrush later, we already have this idea. Okay. Now for the chest, let's create a new layer here. I really like the shape here as Protoss chest guard. I want it to be continuous, almost like part of her chest here. It's like an add-on to her chest armor. I wanted to pick this out. No. Maybe this could be energy here. Some crystal here. This is one cutout. Maybe add some connectors here. Bio some kind of organic, rubber or whatever that sticks to their body. Could put at the side. So we now have another shape here, right? Another object that we can develop in 3D later. Okay? You see, it's very helpful. And I also like this thing here going on here. Maybe it's interior, it's an interior thing. Maybe it's also rubbery. Could just connect this to her arm here. Some kind of rubber. Okay, we have that. We have that piece. Let's take another one. Maybe this part here. Since you have that connection here, right? We can have a floating connection here. Another shape here. It connects to her chest, but it's actually floating down to her back here. It's like maybe we could connect this to her back later. For now we have that shape. Connects here. right? Should be here, right? Okay, so let's put that to the side first. Then we could pick out, I really like this shape too. It's like some antenna. It's connecting to her body. So it could be part of her suit here. Could be connected to this. No. Could be some kind of interface to help her control her armor. Now, since their armor are partially robotic, or it has some AI in it that helps them move complicated parts together. You can actually have that here. Yes, that's correct. Yep, you can connect that here. At least now we know that our chest, our um, abdomen have this digital thing, some kind of controller. It's okay. So uh, let's group all of this together so we don't lose them. Maybe rename this. Okay. How do I rename this? Okay. Base. And this one would be the shoulder. Shoulder. Okay. This one is the chest piece. Okay. Now we have the trap rubber. Now we know, we have an idea now how many pieces we need to make. Oh, okay. This is the chest piece connector. And we have the abs control. So now, for now we have all of these parts. That's just for the upper body. We don't have a neck part yet, so let me save this file. Okay, done saving. So we're already 23 minutes into this video, so we'll cut it short for now and then continue it later, or maybe we could just jump into 3D, because I think you guys got the idea here. So I hope you learned something, or this could become useful in your process in the future. Thanks for watching.